We started? Hi, Diane. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good to see you. I'm excited for the healing circle. Good. Hi, everybody. I got a little song for you. And we'll sing it a few times. It's very short. It's just a little chant. Gather here in the mystery of the hour. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gather here in the mystery of the hour. Thank you. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Take it again. Gather here in the mystery of the hour. Gather here. Gather here in one strong body. Gather in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Gather here in the mystery of the. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in the struggle and the power. Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near.
Good morning. Good morning. Morning. I'm Reverend Janet Gollery McKithen. I'm the minister of the church in Ocean Park, and I want to welcome you here this morning to the Song Circle. You're welcome. You might wonder if you walk up the stairs and you look at the pictures on the wall, and you might wonder, are you really, really welcome here, depending on what your belief system is. Well, you are welcome because we're a multi-faith. If you're Jewish, if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, if you're Buddhist, if you're atheist, if you're something I haven't mentioned, if you're Christian, if you're some combination or something else altogether. We welcome you if you're single, married, divorced, widowed, gay, transgender, non-binary, very rich, or living on the edge. We welcome you if you're fidgety, if you're very focused, or if you just got up or you just got out of jail. We don't care if you're more religious than the Pope. You haven't been to mosque since before the pandemic. We welcome soccer moms, tree huggers, latte sippers, vegans, junk food eaters. We welcome you if you're in recovery or if you're still addicted. We welcome you if you like organized religion or you're repelled by it or you're hurt by it. We welcome those if you're standing in the need of prayer. We hope that you'll find this place a place of healing and a place of hope. We welcome you if you have had trouble in a religious community before and are here very cautiously, hoping for a new day. We welcome you if you're having problems or if you woke up soaring on the eagle's wings, or a little bit of both. This is a unique multi-religious community that's focused on helping to create a more just and equitable world. We want to begin by acknowledging that we are currently on the land of the Tonga, the Quiche, and the Chumash peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. settler colonialism. We also acknowledge that our communities and country was built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor every single day. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to healing by helping to create a more just and sustainable world through the struggle of changing how we do the things that we see as normal, but actually are hurting people. We all have biases, and it takes intentionality to build compassion for people whose lives are different from ours. We seek to work together across boundaries to tear down unjust systems and build new relationships of healing and of love. This morning you'll hear from a variety of people. If you hear something you disagree with, know that that person does not speak for the church in Ocean Park any more than you do. Thank you for being a part of this community this morning. Thank you for helping break barriers. Thank you for building more compassion. Thank you for being a part of bending the arc toward justice over and over and over again. We center ourselves each week with a chant by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, 3 times. Join me if you can. Just take a deep breath and let it out. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We're glad you're here. Hi, Izzy. And all right, so we're very happy this morning to see our friend Rabbi Diane Rose here with us this morning. Yay, that's right. Rabbi Cantor Diane is a humanistic rabbi and the leader of a new community, the Santa Monica Jewish Humanistic Chavurah. Chavurah. She was ordained cantor at the American Seminary for Contemporary Judaism and as a rabbi at the Jewish Spiritual Leaders Institute. She enrolled in the Rabbinic Seminary at AJRCA to deepen her education. But when she had an aha moment and realized she is much more spiritual once God is taken out of the language of her Jewish practice, she left that program with a Master's of Jewish Studies degree, became part of a Jewish humanistic movement, and left her previous community, Kul Shul. Her new community is already acknowledged by the Society for Humanistic Judaism, and she is on her way to being officially ordained as a humanistic rabbi. She's also a choral conductor with a Master's of Music in Conducting and is in the process of forming the Jewish Treble Choral Project, which will host and fund several projects for Jewish treble choral groups. Part of what she loves about the humanistic movement is that it is formed as an egalitarian, LGBTQ+, and interfaith-friendly group from the start. Humanistic Judaism is endlessly evolving, creative, and accepting of anyone and everyone who wants to participate. And I just want to say, I particularly appreciate, like many of you, I appreciate people who have strong convictions, right? We like people who have strong convictions. I don't appreciate people who believe that what they believe ought to be what I believe. I also don't actually appreciate people who believe that their beliefs can't change. So I really appreciate people who evolve and are not afraid, whether or not, whatever it means. It's courageous to say you believe a new thing. I'm no longer this, I'm this. It's really courageous. I can't say how much I appreciate what Diane has gone through and the fact that she is now a humanistic rabbi. Just think of yourself and how, if you've evolved from one thing to another, and how much that took, to tell whatever community you were in at the time. So it's a courageous thing to do, and I really appreciate that. So welcome, Rabbi Diane.
Thank you. I'm not going to talk about any of that, but you're welcome to ask me about it later. But in the texts that you have in front of you, I've been doing song circles with my previous community and now with my new community. And these are the kinds of texts we use, maybe with a little more Hebrew, but mostly this is what we're using. And you will notice that there is no God anywhere in there. And when I introduced this to my old community, what we would do is we would do things together. And then I would say, did you notice what was missing? And they would say, no, what was missing? And I would say, we didn't say God anywhere. And they'd go, we didn't? And they'd look at it all and realize we were focusing on love and healing and light and our own strength and nature and humans' potential to get over all our, I won't say it, stuff. And try to work together. And so that's what we're going to do. She talked about that I recently got a second master's degree, and the thesis ended up being about the importance of communal singing in community. And when you're in a choir, that's great, but in a choir, sometimes you have to have certain requirements. You know how to read music, you can hold your part, whatever it is. There's sort of auditions, whatever it is to be in a choir sometimes. But in a song circle, you don't have to do anything. You just show up and you start singing. And including if you don't feel comfortable singing, you can just close your eyes. And as I told my community, if you fall asleep, that's a compliment, not an insult. It's supposed to be very meditative. When I do a song circle, usually it's an hour to an hour and a half. We're going to do like 15, 20 minutes. So I think we're just going to pick a couple of texts. I have ideas of what we can do, but if something is speaking to you, you can shout out and we can change directions. And the idea of it being an hour and a half is that each chant is something like, well, if you want to do it the way I was taught, 15 minutes each one. We wouldn't do that even in my community. But the idea behind it is that it takes 5 minutes to learn it, 5 minutes to start singing it, and 5 minutes to get over yourself and start meditating. And so you do it for a full 15 minutes, and you just set a timer and you forget. You forget time and just let it go. We won't do that. We'll probably do maybe 2 or 3 for 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. And so there are no rules. Literally, you can look at the paper, you can not look at the paper. The idea is just going to go over a drone, and you're just going to repeat. If you hear a harmony or feel a harmony and you want to sing something along with it, that's totally wonderful as well. It's truly a meditative singing practice because the science behind singing is that we're actually healthier when we sing in community. So last thing I'll tell you is there's this organization in the UK called Sing With Us, and they gave cancer patients mouth swabs, and before they would sing together, and they sang together for many months and watched what happened. And in fact, the proteins that helped their immune system boosted, their anxiety levels went down, their blood pressures went down. Not that it necessarily saved anyone, but it helped them feel better along the way. So singing is actually good for you. It's literally healthy. And I know in COVID, it became like the least healthy thing to do. But right? Like we had the time when it was like, whatever you do, don't sing in the same room with anybody. But the health benefits are such that it's worth it. It is. This is called a Shruti box. A harmonium would have a full keyboard. This only has an octave, but it has all the pitches in an octave, and so it'll only drone. In a harmonium, I can play all kinds of things. I have one of those too, but this is a lot easier. I mean, play. Yeah, I play enough piano. Do it. Just making sure I have this. Thank you. So if there's anything that jumps out at you, we can do that. I was thinking about starting at the top with this circle round. Does that work for you? Or if you see something, go, oh, I love that. That works for you to start with that. And so I'm going to actually set a timer. 5 minutes. It will buzz me when 5 minutes are over, and that way you don't have to think about time at all. I'll feel a little jiggle on my arm, and you'll see what 5 minutes feels like. This time it might feel a little long, and I bet next time it's going to feel a lot shorter. And so what I usually do with my community is we start adding minutes, and by the end we're doing 10 minutes per chant, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and we just make our way up. But we'll start at the top. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us in prison. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet. Circle for each soul. For the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Just take a moment of quiet. Any thoughts before we pick another one? So theoretically, you only got to the point of learning it. And we didn't exactly get to the point of totally singing it. And we theoretically definitely didn't get to the point of stop thinking about ourselves and losing ourselves in it. But we can speed it along for sure. Like once we're aware of the format and how it works, to kind of know that we're not going to go for that long. This is going to be a short round. And so I was thinking about doing the one that says blessings. That's called the dance next. It's a little bit less text, so easier maybe to wrap our heads around. And we're going to explore a little bit letting go as soon as you get comfortable, knowing that we'll only do another 5 minutes. Did it feel long? Did it feel like, when is this going to end? Or did it feel more like, oh, I could do some more? Either answer is totally fine. You like the... You could do more to kind of like zen out. So tell you what, let's do 6. 6 minutes. So we're where it says blessings. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. With us, within us, around us, a journey, a purpose, a chance. From us and of us and through us, some questions, some answers, a dance. And again, just a moment to let it sink in. Go on the bottom of the page where it says love for others when we are singing. We'll do that. Should I do 5? Do 5? We'll do 5. For sake of time, we'll do 5 minutes. Actually, let's make it lower. When we are singing, we are bound together. When we are sharing, we are free to be, both in our singing and in our sharing. We are bringing change. We are making peace. When we are singing, we are bound together. When we are sharing, we are free to be, both in our singing and in our sharing. We are bringing change. We are making peace. When we are singing, we are bound together. When we are sharing, we are
Okay. That was a beautiful time for me. I don't know about you all. This is a time for sharing anyway in our normal ritual. So if you'd have something you'd like to share about what we just experienced or something, let me know. Raise your hand and I'll bring you the mic.
It's just so calming, right? It's self-regulation. And singing is something that works really well with self-regulation, lowering the heart rate and allowing you to be who you are in your best self. There was an example even in the Olympics where there was a fight about to happen, I think, on the volleyball courts, but the DJ started playing Imagine, and it calmed everything down, right? And so it's just the ability to self-regulate, but in community, and that's the best of community, right? Because it puts you at that place where you are peace, and that's just a lovely gift to share. And so the one thing is I found my voice was going more toward your instrument than your soaring voice going high. But anyway, thank you for sharing this amazing gift.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I found this really moving and touching. I was thinking for a minute of when I was in the service and we were off the coast of Vietnam on a ship that held bombs and gunpowder. And we weren't allowed in our workspace a lot of personal items. Everything had to fit in a small locker. And there was just enough room for you, pretty much for your clothes and shoes and things like that. I had a stereo and record albums. I had to hide them all over the place. And, word got around that we were playing music. I was having people in my storeroom listening to music. The lieutenant would come down and look, and I let my fellow workers keep their fishing gear in our storerooms. And he would look for this stuff all the time, and I would hide it in, I would keep old boxes that engine parts came in and hide it in the engine box parts and then tape it up, and he never found anything. He would look for the fishing poles and everything, and he couldn't find it. But that music got me through those 4 years, and going to the Fillmore and listening to music at Golden Gate Park, it really moved me. And I've always thought music was healing, and I understand why during the 70s and even up to these times, people do breakup albums or divorce albums. Their whole album is expressing their grief and hurt. A number of artists have done this, and it became known as breakup albums. And you can see their grief and their hurt and their pain, and it must heal them in some way.
I too am deeply moved. But I'll start by saying at the start of this, a child walked through here and they went downstairs with Hurley Jim. And my question, once I was looking at this, is what is it within, I guess you could say this and or any exercise that addresses that child's spiritual growth and embracing of this idea of the universe being one with, because there's all kinds of stuff that's going to divide us. So I'm looking at something, if there is something specific that addresses her and or his spiritual growth as we develop her into from a girl to young womanhood, and if it was her brother, from young men to young manhood.
Do you mean specifically singing together, or do you mean in my...
That and the words themselves, because it promotes a universality.
Right,
So, I mean, the child is going to be individual.
right.
So I'm wondering specifically, what is it that we can take from this and apply it to her spiritual growth.
Right. Well, the only thing I can speak to is my decision to become a humanistic Jew and to leave more traditional Judaism. There are a lot of rules, and there are a lot of things we say that we don't really believe, but we say them out of tradition, or we say them to honor, which is great, say them to honor our parents and grandparents, and to say them in community. And if you feel them, it's important. And if you stop feeling them, it's important, to, at least for me as a leader, to stop saying them. For kids, I've always taught kids in a humanistic format, even if they learn traditional things, because to me, spiritual growth is going to be finding that light within and not only searching for it without. And if you feel it without, that's great. If you feel something outside of you to help guide you, that is beautiful and a blessing. But there are times when you don't, and you need to have the tools inside to find that light and to guide you when times are dark. And so for me, this kind of community and settling and focusing on love and nature and compassion and the potential, not the reality, but the potential of humanity, for me, that's very spiritual, and that's what I try to teach the children that I teach. And I get out of the religion, because they can reject religion, but we don't want them to reject themselves. So if the light is inside, then they'll always find it.
Thank you.
This is, I love what you just said, and when we were doing the singing, I love harmony. I mean, to me, that's so part of me. But I love what you said, like, forget yourself, because I think that's the essence. You know, it's not about me, or, you know, it's just coming through from wherever. And I love that God is not mentioned. That works for me really well. And also, like, the moment after, when we're all done, that silence is so rich. And I don't know, that's just so great. That silence right after, it's very rich. I don't know how else to say it.
Yes, thank you very much for this experience. It shows that we don't need to, well, as a minister myself, we don't need to repeat the same type of format all the time. Sometimes things like this really come in to bring us a lot of healing and reassurance. When I came in this morning, I saw a rocking chair downstairs. And rocking chairs for me symbolize a joyful thing. We had a rocking chair home. I grew up with that rocking chair. And I used to rock and sing every day. Rock and sing when I'm not in school. And I used to learn my Latin words and my Spanish words. Amo, amas, amat, amamos, amatis, amant. And that's Latin for I love. And I would learn my stuff so well, just rocking and singing. And then to come up now and to be involved in this type of singing, I mean, this was really significant for me, you know. So thank you so much. And singing really helps me, because whenever there's death, when I was a baby, I was said to be a crying child, a crying baby. I used to cry all the time. And they would feed me, and I cry worse. And my parents were frustrated with my crying. But I have found that the singing helps the crying. I mean, even now, like when there's grief, when somebody dies, I don't really cry. I don't cry now. But when I sing, that really helps me to cope with grief and so on. So it's quite amazing.
Some of you might have been here when Reverend Alexia Salvatierra was here talking about how singing and harmony and whatever, it can connect you to someone who you disagree with in all other ways, like it's a heart-to-heart kind of this is a sort of almost a follow-up of, like, now we can experience it. You know, really anybody could walk in the room and we could be connected through this song.
It was, I had a little trouble with when you changed octaves because I have a really low voice, and so I couldn't go that high. But when I really got in the zone, I really felt my chi moving around. My hands got hot and warm and tingly, like almost numb. So yeah, it was a cool experience. Thanks.
Anybody else?
That was very soothing and peaceful. And I wanted to share something about my family. When COVID set in, we were all looking for ways of being together and entertaining each other and being in touch. And I have 3 siblings, and all of us play guitars, plus one brother also plays banjo, as some of you know, because you've heard him. But we began gathering every month on Zoom, and we're all over the country. That brother's in New York, my other brother's in North Carolina, my sister's in Madison, Wisconsin. And we began having regular, we just call them the Gord Family Hoot. That's our event. And we still do that every month. And unfortunately, we can't hear the harmony because of Zoom. That doesn't work with Zoom. But each of us can harmonize, on, what do you call it? On mute. Yesterday, my brother happened to have with him, I think, 4 other musicians, and they could harmonize. And I sang one song, and Bill told me, you should have heard the harmony, But I guess my point is that that's sort of become a ritual for us, and it's a great source of family unity to sing on a regular basis.
2 quick comments. One is I'm now worried about our storage containers, given Fred's story, because I don't know where he's storing things in our storage areas. Fred, I'm a little worried. The other thing is, I find it fascinating that this is much different than listening to music on the radio, and it's closer to chanting because it's short, and it's almost like it reminds me a little, Franny and Zoe, the Pilgrim's Prayer or whatever they chant, and it helps them sort of make it through the day. But it's just lovely that it's different, similar but different, and it's different enough that it affects me physiologically different.
To that I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, when I was doing a study about music and community, if you think about work songs, war songs, like those things are built to sort of release self-identity, get your heart rates in the same groove, to work together as a team, to work to a rhythm, and of course with a work song to make it less mind-numbingly boring. But it's exactly that. It's like it unifies people to either in a group meditation or to get ready to act. But it can be used either way, If you watch the war dances on YouTube, they're amazing.
All right.
This is in Hebrew, so you might need to look at it. And moda ani means I am grateful. And if you identify male, we say moda. If you identify female, we say moda. And if you identify as non-binary, you would say modit. New Hebrew. And the whole thing means what it says below. I give gratitude before you and with you. Wind, breeze, breath. The word ruach means all of that. It can also mean soul. of living and enduring. Being me, I go with the breeze. Modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, ruach haidekayam, modani lefanecha, ruach haidekayam, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, modani lefanecha, ruach haidekayam, modani lefanecha, ruach haidekayam.
Thank you so much. One of the ways that we're able to gather as community is that we have some folks who are doing the wonderfully giving online and recurring gifts this way. We also have Zephy. If you want to try to put your phone towards this, I'll put it right here. And we also have, even if you've done that, sometimes you come along with a little bit extra in your pocket. And so we pass the baskets, and the basket is for checks or paper money, and the bucket is for coins that make a lot of noise. So I'm going to do one way and one the other and see where it crosses.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Will never forget you. I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you. I will never forget you. I will never forsake you.
This reminds me almost of the game, this is a cow and this is a horse. Have you played that? We'll have to do that one day. There's some announcements this morning. Lift all of these up and those that are unspoken as well.
Okay, quick little song here. Wearing my long winged feathers as I fly. I circle around the earth. Wearing my long winged feathers as I fly. Wearing my long winged feathers as I fly. I circle around the boundaries of the earth. Would you like to dance?
and the people on Zoom unmute. We say together, 1, 2, 3.
Carry